Today, we're going on a journey into what it really means to lead, not just in business, but in life. We're diving into the incredible work of Suleman Anwar to unpack three pillars of human excellence: leadership, emotional intelligence, and decision-making. And you're going to see how these aren't just separate skills, they're woven together into something truly powerful.
So here's our game plan. We'll start by looking at this idea of a fabric of excellence. Then we'll dive deep into each pillar one by one. What is leadership, really? What's the deal with emotional intelligence? And how do great leaders make decisions? Finally, we'll bring it all back together to see the whole picture. Sound good? Let's jump in. All right, so the central idea we're working with today is that these three skills, they aren't things you can just learn in isolation. They're deeply connected. Think of it like this. Each one is a thread. On its own, a thread is okay, but it's not that strong. But when you weave them together, you get something incredibly resilient and powerful. And this image right here, it just perfectly captures that core idea. Like Anwar says, these aren't separate threads at all. Together, they form the very fabric of human excellence. This one concept is really the foundation for everything else we're about to explore. Keep this image in your mind. So let's start with that first thread, leadership. Imagine you're on a journey. What's the one thing you absolutely need? A compass, right? Well, leadership is that compass. It's the force that gives us a clear direction, a vision for where we're all headed. So what is leadership at its core? It's not about having a fancy title or being the boss. It's an ability. It's the ability to inspire people, to influence them. And this is the key part, to actually produce change. It's all about creating a better future. And this slide highlights a distinction that is absolutely critical. Management is about keeping the trains running on time. It asks how and when. It's focused on stability and executing tasks. Leadership, on the other hand, is about deciding where the tracks should go in the first place. It asks why and where to. Management helps an organization survive. Leadership helps it evolve. You need both, for sure, but they are not the same thing. So what do leaders actually do? Well, it really boils down to these three core functions. First, they set the direction. They paint a clear picture of the future. Second, they align people around that vision. This is all about communication and building a team that's genuinely committed. And third, they motivate and inspire. They're the ones who energize everybody to push through the tough spots and take those necessary risks. Now for our second pillar. If leadership is the compass that sets the direction, then emotional intelligence, or EI, is kind of like the human operating system. It's the software that runs in the background, allowing a leader to actually connect with and guide other people. Emotional intelligence is pretty much what it sounds like, being intelligent about emotions. It's about having the capacity to recognize what you're feeling, what others are feeling, and then using that awareness to guide how you act and how you build relationships. This is the engine of trust and connection. And EI isn't just one thing. It's a developmental path that unfolds across these four dimensions. It has to start with you, with self-awareness. Then comes self-management, which is controlling your own responses. Only then can you turn outward to social awareness, understanding others. And finally, you get to relationship management, where you can build trust and inspire people. It's a journey from the inside out. And this quote just nails it. Please don't ever think of emotional intelligence as some soft skill. It's not. It is the absolute foundation of leadership. It's the bridge that connects a leader's brilliant ideas to the actual human beings who have to make those ideas a reality. Without EI, leadership is just an abstract theory. Which brings us to our third and final pillar, decision-making. So if leadership points the way and EI builds the human connection, decision-making is the crucible. It's where vision and emotion get forged into real-world action. This is where the path actually gets built, one choice at a time. Now, drawing on the wisdom of the legendary Peter Drucker, we get this crucial point. Great decision-making is not about being the fastest. It's not a race. It's a discipline. It's about having a structured process to make the few decisions that truly matter and making them incredibly well. And here's what that discipline looks like. Notice the structure here. It starts with just understanding the problem. Is this something we've seen before, or is it totally new? Then you define what it's really about. Only then do you think about answers. And I love this part. You decide on what is right, not just what is acceptable. And finally, you build the action plan right into the decision itself. Because as this quote reminds us so powerfully, that last step is everything. What good is a decision if nothing happens? It's just a nice idea. It's a statement of intent. The real value only comes when that choice is turned into action, out there in the real world. Okay, so we've looked at our 3 threads: leadership, emotional intelligence, and decision-making. Now for the most important part. Let's start weaving. Let's bring these threads back together to see the complete fabric of an integrated leader. So the big question is, how does this actually work in practice? How do you combine a clear vision with emotional awareness and a disciplined process to create a complete model for getting things done? And this model lays it out perfectly. Look at this. It starts with recognizing the situation, sure, but check out step 2, engage emotional awareness. Right away, the leader is tuning in, asking, how do I feel about this? How might others feel? Then, after gathering the facts, look at step 5. You evaluate with both rational criteria and emotional resonance. Does this decision feel right? The choice itself is made with integrity. And then, and this is so important, it's communicated with empathy. This is not a cold robotic process. It's deeply human, weaving together logic and feeling at every single step. And here's exactly why that integration is so critical. Think about it. A leader with a great vision but no emotional intelligence, they're just going to feel disconnected from their team. Someone with super high EI but who can't make a tough call, they'll just stagnate. And a brilliant decision maker with no leadership vision, well, they're just a cold, efficient machine. Each pillar absolutely needs the other 2 to work. So we'll end with this powerful question, turning the focus back to you. After everything we've talked about, the challenge isn't just to make smart choices. The challenge is to make choices that are both logical and humane. So how will you make sure your decisions embody both? Because finding that balance, that right there, that is the soul of leadership.